Welcome to Counseling Theories. Let me start off by introducing myself. I am Dr. David Brandt, and I've been in the counseling field for almost 40 years. So, a lot of the things that go into this course are from my personal experiences as well as from the textbook. And so, I hope that you find it very interesting this semester. If you want to read a little bit more about my biography and where I come from and my education and that sort of thing, all of that's included in the very first module in this course. I want to make sure that you absolutely read the paper syllabus. That is key to understanding this course because in the paper syllabus, I go through a lot of the instructions on what to do, how the course is structured, as well as how the course is graded. So these are all things that are important for you to know. Now, I did send you a copy of the paper syllabus along with a welcome letter earlier this week, and it would have gone into your RAC email account. So be sure to check that email account. And if you don't have one set up, please make sure that you get one set up. However, for the remainder of the semester, probably the best way for you to get in contact with me is through Canvas. And so we'll kind of use the email system in Canvas to get back and forth. The course is set up in modules. And this is really kind of key as well, so that don't simply go on the home page and look at different due dates and that sort of thing and just kind of like click on those links. But be sure to go into the modules because the modules contain a number of different things like the PowerPoints, the discussion questions, the videos that I want you to watch, as well as class lectures from when I taught this course remotely in 2020. A lot of the information is the same between then and now. So hopefully you'll be able to get a lot of information out of those lectures. But in addition to that, then just kind of skim through some of the chatter, some of the discussion that I may have with some of the students or whatever, and you can really get into the meat of the course. Each week you're going to find a Dropbox. Be sure to read the instructions for each assignment carefully because they may change just a little bit. So for example, in the first two drop boxes for the first 2 weeks, what I'm going to be asking you to do is really looking at yourself and looking at why you're getting into this field of counseling. What are the attributes that you have as far as a counselor? Because what research has found is that no matter what theory you ascribe to for counseling, the most important, the most critical thing in counseling is your ability to connect with the client and to have that therapeutic working relationship with that client. So these are some of the things that you're going to be looking at for yourself. So be able to go in to the module, find the Dropbox for this week, this coming week, and you're going to be looking at some of the initial things as far as a counselor is concerned and perhaps why you chose this particular profession. But be sure to read the instructions for each one of those. Your final paper then is going to be looking at choosing two of the theories that you find best fit you. And you're going to take those two theories and you're going to look at some of the research that supports both of those theories. So I'm looking for a minimum of 5 scholarly, peer-reviewed primary sources. In other words, a primary source, remember, is a source that is an experiment, a study that's been done, and it has been written up by the people who actually conducted the study. So, and try to keep it within the last 10 years. That's going to be the most current, the most recent information. So you're going to look at those two theories, and by the end of your paper, you're going to, in the discussion section at the very end, you're going to choose one of those two theories. Now, I want to be sure to say that just because you're choosing a theory at this particular time doesn't mean that that's what you're going to stick with throughout your entire career. So for example, when I started out with ascribing to the psychodynamic school, all right, and really kind of looked at how our history shapes who we are and looking at unconscious motivations and those kinds of things. Now, notice I didn't say psychoanalytic, which is Freudian, but psychodynamic. As time has changed and as I've gone through my educational process as well as meeting with clients, what has happened is I have adopted the cognitive behavior therapy model because that's what best suits me. That's the kind of the way that I think, the wheels that go on in my head, and that's really the model that best suits me. So I find then that I can better serve my clients with a model that suits me. You're going to find out in the first section, the first module, there's a video that I want you to watch that talks about the difference between theories and techniques. And I want you to take that to heart, because just because you ascribe to a theory doesn't mean that you might not borrow techniques from other types of therapy. So I've used techniques from a number of different varieties of therapies, but my basic core, what I use most, what makes the most sense to me, is cognitive behavior therapy. With that note, the other thing that I just want to make mention of is that in your textbook, it talks about cognitive behavior therapy coming out of the behavioral school. And I disagree with that, because any of the reading that I've done, it is actually developed out of the cognitive school, so that the emphasis in cognitive behavior therapy, and I go over this in one of the lectures as well, but I thought I would mention it here so that you know what my bias is. And the emphasis is on looking at what are the cognitions, what are the thought processes that a person goes through, and then how do these thought processes shape the person's behavior, their emotional life, that sort of thing. And so cognitive behavior therapy then uses work on changing the thought processes as well as changing the behaviors. That's why it's referred to as cognitive behavior therapy. So that's just a little sideline there. Folks, I'm not going to belabor this any further. So this is my welcome to the course. If you have any questions, please be sure to email me, contact me. And we can also set up a Zoom meeting if you would want to do that. Let you know also that I'm going to be on campus teaching abnormal psychology from 10:30 to 11:50 on Mondays and Wednesdays. So if you want to meet on campus, if you happen to be there or whatever, or set up a meeting before or after my class, I would be more than happy to do that as well. So welcome to the course. I hope you enjoy this, and I really hope that this is your first step in shaping who you become as a counselor. Take care now.